Hey guys, my name is Ethan, this is Carberra. Welcome to the series where I teach you how to code in Python. Today we are talking about file I/O with context managers. So this is an extension to, or this is a follow-on I suppose, from the last video we talked about reading and writing files. Today we're going to be doing exactly the same thing, just with the superior method really. So a context manager is a special attribute, or it's more special methods that you can give to a class that allow it to operate within a specific context, which can be opened using the with command. So our open built-in function that we used last video returns a file IO object, which has the necessary special methods to be able to open a context. These are double underscore enter double underscore and double underscore exit double underscore. So you don't need to know the mechanics of how these work right now, but just know that this returns a file IO object which has those things in place, so we can open a context with it. So we can do reading.txt, the same, r, and then encoding equals utf-8 as f. So this as f essentially says to create our object as normal, using this variable name. So this is the same as kind of writing f equals open and then all that stuff. But the beauty of context managers for file IO specifically, although this a lot of these benefits translate into other things too, is that everything in here is within the context. So on line 2 we are entering this context. So we could just do print f.read, for example. And if we do something down here, so hello world, this is out of the context. So we leave the context on line 3 or line 4. I'm not sure which Python would actually take as leaving the context. But needless to say, line 4 is not part of the context. So we have entered it on line 2 and we've exited it on line, or we have exited it by line 4. So in the enter, we're just opening the file. I've probably noticed that we don't actually call f.close, and that's because when we exit the context, that is handled for us. So the file is closed once we unindent out of this with. So the file is closed by the time that print hello world is there. So I can actually probably show that off. And I'm not sure if we're going to get a name error or some other error, but it's going to be an error, and we will actually see it is a value error. Okay, yeah. IO operation on closed file. So the name still exists because it's defined at the top level. It still exists in the scope, but it doesn't exist in the context. Or more specifically, when we exited the context, the file was closed, so we cannot do any more operations on it. And if you come down here and print that, we get hello world down there. So this makes things just a little bit easier, a little bit nicer. We don't have to worry about closing the file. Everything is just, it's in a nice little block, which is cool. So we can still define, say, string. Actually, we'll do string equals hello world. We'll just call it. I can't be asked to type all I did last time. And then we can do with open write out.txt. Write mode, and then encoding equals utf-8, if I can type, there we go, as f as before, and then we can do f.write string, and then we go back into our write out.txt, and voila, our hello world is there. And if we try and do again f.read, we'll get an error because the operation isn't closed. And if we try and do f.write string here, or the file is closed, sorry, not the operation. So yeah, we can't operate on a closed file. The file was closed by the context manager when we exited out this little indentation block, and so we can't perform any operations on it. So it's just a nice little way to clean things up, and also you don't have to remember to close the file every single time. It's not strictly necessary to close the file, but if a program exits without closing the file, then that could cause data corruption. And if you try and read a file that is currently open, that could cause issues as well. With databases, they have special properties. With TXT files, especially files with certain locks on them, then that could start causing real problems. So you do need to make sure that you close files And with context managers, that's all handled for you. You don't need to worry about it. So yeah, it's really nice. You can do this with other functions as well, but not every single one. I'll quickly bring up the Firefox or the web page with this in. So as you can see, implemented a context manager as a class. It has this enter and exit method in. So you don't need to worry about any of this stuff. But yeah, self.fileobject.close is actually called inside the exit here. So yeah, that's all you really need to know about context managers. They are far more commonly used in file operations than really anything else, and it's easiest to explain in file operations as well, which is why I did it now. But yeah, context managers are really cool, and yeah, now you know how to do them, and now you know how they work. If you have any questions, then feel free to leave a comment below, or you can join the Discord server using the link in the description. I also have all my socials down there, so feel free to check those out if you want to. But with that, I'm going to end the video here. If you liked it, say hello down below. If you really liked it, then consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads. And if you really liked it, then consider supporting on Patreon. Of course, you don't have to, be a really cool thing if you did do. With that in mind, I'd like to thank the patrons that I have for being amazing and extremely generous and very, very sexy people. And I will see you next time where we talk about using built-in functions. So this is more going to, that's more going to be kind of a showcase of different functions, having a look at all the built-in ones that Python comes with and all that stuff. So I'll see you for that.